All right, guys. So I've been seeing a lot of people talk about this show for a while now called Love is Blind. I want to be clear. I have never watched this show in my life, but I see it everywhere. And I'm wondering why. Does it just have to do with the fact that my algorithm is always shooting me stuff on relationships and such? I don't know. But I've seen it enough that I have an idea of the controversy that surrounded this show. I actually thought, you know what, this might be worth talking about. Now, because I'm lazy, we're going to talk to Miss Coffee. I'm going to let her explain it because I know some of you guys are just lost right now. Like, man, come on. Listen, follow me for a little bit. Let's talk to Miss Coffee. Miss Coffee, can you explain what the show Love is Blind is all about?
Love is Blind is a reality dating show that premiered on Netflix in February 2020. The premise of the show involves a group of single men and women who are placed in separate living quarters and go on a series of dates in pods, where they can hear but not see each other. The idea is for the contestants to form emotional connections without being influenced by physical appearance. Throughout the show, the participants engage in conversations and activities with each other, building connections solely based on their personalities, values, and interests. They are encouraged to propose to someone they've connected with, without ever having seen them face to face. If both members of a couple accept the proposal, they then get to meet in person for the first time and spend time together in the real world.
All right, guys, follow me here. I know this is some chick shit, but follow me here. So they don't see each other. They're building connections between each other based on like personality, values, interests, etc. And there is this woman who goes by the name of AD on the show and another guy named Clay. So the climax of the whole show is the possibility of two people marrying, actually getting married at the end of the show. Long story short, this guy changes his mind at the altar in front of her whole family and embarrasses her, and everybody lost it. People feel very strongly about this. People start talking about like colorism and all types of stuff. But I heard a take here that I thought was really interesting about this situation. And it specifically talked about AD, the woman right here, and the picture of her family who was representing her at the actual wedding. And I think a lot can be picked out here when it comes to the state of modern women and the lack of men who are marrying them. Let's check it out.
If you look at this picture, you probably see, 8 beautiful women. But you know what I see? I see the reason why they were so desperate, as a lot of people called it on TikTok, to have Clay in their lives. There's no men in the picture. There's no man in their lives that represents important enough to be at AD's wedding, at least. AD's father has passed. I'm not sure how much of a good example of a man he could have been. As she said on the show, he wasn't even in her life. So when you see this woman, and I see a lot of people calling her a pick-me or pick-me last, she may very well be these things, but let's get to the root. And one of the roots that comes from this is no men being in their lives.
I want to be very clear here that I'm not trying to shame this woman. I don't even watch this show, but I've heard so much about it that without even trying, I've been forced to follow what's been going on. And now I'm forcing you guys to kind of go through this. But yes, I think there's a point to be made here. If her family that's represented here has no man, they are desperate for a man. It is important that there are men within your family. There are a lot of women today who come from this type of like a matriarch type setup who are in desperate need of a man. Now, would I take a dating show seriously? Is this legit? I don't take reality shows serious much at all. Let's keep watching.
They are not balanced. They all have to be the masculine at this point. Women get tired of being the masculine. Okay, I jumped out of character real quick. So then you look at AD and you look at Clay. Clay has admitted himself as being immature, as being someone who is not ready for love. Why are you on Love is Blind? I'm not sure, but he has admitted these things over and over to her. And when he sees that family full of women and young girls that's looking to him as the person to lead them, because, a family is a village, so you come to one, you come to all. He's not ready for that either, not by himself. They didn't even have a man to help guide him into that tribe of women. So now it's like, how did you come to this conclusion?
But yeah, a tribe of women is correct. And guys, here's why I think this perspective is important. There are a lot of men, especially in the Black community, who approach a matriarch and they are intimidated. They don't necessarily want to take on the responsibility of being the only masculine energy in that family. While this is like a reality show that people are probably taking way too seriously, this picture of what looks like a matriarch of all these women here, it just shouldn't be like this. It just shouldn't be like this. And in a world where women claim they don't need men, this is the result of exactly that. All right, let's keep going. This comment just says, Clay is low-key very feminine. Here we go. Here's somebody else who says, this is so deep. Having an active father really plays a big role. Here's somebody else who says, there are no men, and I feel the mama was living vicariously through AD because the red flag was there. Somebody else who says, or maybe that's just a picture of the girls. Somebody else who says, I believe she said she would be the first to get married and her dad is deceased, but not involved. The first to get married. She would be the first to get married in the family, but she went on a dating show. But besides that, this is a sad state, when you have, looks like what are 3 women who could potentially be married, but you'd be the first to get married. It's unfortunate. She should stop shaming him. I'm pointing out a very realistic point that this content creator here is also pointing out. Another person who says, I agree, men can get away with treating women any kind of way, but when they have another man to answer to, they act differently.